and welcome to LOLA SPEAK channel. On this channel, we're talking about learning English as a second language, and this is Money Word Series. You can find the links to other videos in the series below the video. In this video, we're talking about spending and earning money idioms. And before we begin, subscribe, press this button and you got me. So let's go. Make a killing. To make a killing means to make large, huge, enormous amount of money through some kind of investment or a project, like really succeed in it. Like, oh, she made a killing on that project. Or he made a killing on a stock market last year, meaning he earned a lot of money. So I really wish one day you'll make a killing with one of your business deals. The problem is that sometimes when you make a killing, like you make this large amount of money, then you blow your money. To blow your money means to spend all your money carelessly and quickly and just like, I'll show you. Oh, now it's gone. So usually people who win lottery, or let's say unfortunately some sportsmen, when they earned a lot of money, and maybe usually it's when it was earned in a short amount of time, they blow it right away. So like yesterday he was a billionaire, today he blew all his money. Another idiom very similar to blowing your money is to throw your money down the drain. You can even have this visual, the drain, like where all the gutter goes in the restroom or in like anywhere in the city, the drain. And you can imagine you're just going there and just throwing your money and flushing it, just throwing down the drain. Meaning you're wasting your money on something unproductive or unnecessary. For example, buying that expensive gadget, buying new iPhones sometimes for some people is actually throwing money down the drain if he or she doesn't really need it. I hope Apple won't hate me, but it's the reality. Let me take it back. If you don't use it, but you have it, you threw money down the drain because you spent it on something that you don't really need. It was kind of a waste of money. So some people throw their money down the drain and then they have to tighten the belt. So when you tighten the belt, it means that you have to spend less, that you have to live frugally, like to be saving money. Like you can imagine this belt. Let's say you were living your life, you were eating a lot, and now you don't have enough money and you kind of not eating enough, so you like tighten the belt. Like it's my visual, I know it's silly, but it's almost like you gotta hold tighter to what you have, and when somebody needs to tighten the belt, it means that that person will be spending less in the nearest future, or maybe not even spending at all. Companies, sometimes they need to tighten the belt. Let's say some policies have changed, or economy is going through crisis in a country, and you have no cash coming to your company, so you really need to tighten the belt, like spend less. Live frugally. And sometimes when the times are tough, we have to make ends meet. For example, when I came to United States to study, first I was planning to come just for 3 months. And after the second month, I realized that I wanted to stay longer, but I had just a certain amount of savings. So I'm like, okay, time to tighten the belt. Like I need to be more frugal with my life. So when you're going through tough times, you make ends meet. When you're making ends meet, like you can imagine the end of 1 month and the beginning of the next month, and you're like, oh, they met. We make ends meet, meaning we have just enough to cover our expenses. Let's say your rent is $1,000. I mean, it's a dream rent. Depends on where you live. So let's say 1,000, and you need 500 for your groceries, and you need 500 for bills and credits or whatever, and you earn exactly 2,000. So you really make ends meet. You earn just enough to cover your expenses. And you can use it in a positive context by saying, yeah, it's tough, but with the right budgeting, I can make ends meet, which still means that you have just enough not to starve. And sometimes if a family has one person providing, let's say single mom, and she has multiple kids, she's trying her best to make ends meet. Another idiom is to make a quick buck. Buck, like we're speaking of bucks, money, banknotes. And when we're making a quick buck, you can make a quick buck means that you can earn money quickly in a short period of time. Usually we're not talking about big amounts of money. It's just a quick buck. Let's say you're selling something on the side of the road, like you're selling water or fruits. When I was a kid, in the village where I spent my summers, we would like pick the apples, whatever we had in the garden, and we go with other kids to the side of the road and we make a quick buck by selling it to like cars that would pass by, like, oh, fresh apples, let's buy some. That's Russian reality. Some people who are savvy, who are like great with money, they can make a quick buck when they see the opportunity. Like, let's say they have a domain with a cool name and somebody wants to buy it. So you can make a quick buck. Sometimes you can make a killing. Depends what's your domain name. But then you make some money and you want to spend it. And sometimes you want something that will break the bank. Means to spend more that you can actually afford. You can imagine your imaginary bank, like a little piglet or whatever you have, and you break it, meaning that you took everything from it. You bought something so expensive that you probably shouldn't have, and you broke your bank. Like, I really want a new car, but it would break the bank for me. Or sometimes salesmen, they love to use this phrase. They would say, well, it's a good price, it doesn't break the bank, meaning you can afford it. Like, it's a good deal. Here we should have the ad of our app. It doesn't break the bank, just for $5.99 or whatever the price is. But I'll tell you later. And sometimes you do have this big expense coming, but you gotta bite the bullet. It's a cool idiom because we can use it in different contexts. In a context of money, when we say to bite the bullet, we mean that we will endure some kind of a hard situation that usually involves like paying a lot of money or a big expense, but you gotta do it. For example, let's say your car broke down, you really need your car. You know it's gonna cost a lot of money to repair it, but you gotta bite the bullet and do it because you need it. So you know it will cost a lot of money, but you gotta bite the bullet and fix your car. But as I said, we could use this idiom not only in the context of money, but in context of doing a difficult task. Let's hear an explanation from an American lady, Felicia, inside LOLA SPEAK app idioms section.
To bite the bullet. To bite the bullet means you have either decided to do a very difficult task beyond your means, or you feel pressured to do a difficult task or a simple task in a very short amount of time. It feels pressureful. That is biting the bullet when you continue to carry on through that task. An example, hey Lola, I need these papers in by 5. It's 4:30. You're ready to go at 4:30? You gotta bite the bullet and stay here another 30 minutes to get these papers done. You bit the bullet. The last time I bit the bullet was probably about a week ago. A friend of mine, unfortunately, was neglectful of my feelings and hurt my feelings. I wanted to tell them how I genuinely felt. To have a kind heart and compassion, I had to bite a bullet to say, hey, I didn't care for how you treated me, and to put myself in that place when I didn't feel there naturally. I would say if I were talking to my friend Lola, today at work, Matt put so much pressure on me to correct that one little error in the schedule before I left. So I bit the bullet just to keep him quiet, and I stayed an extra 15 minutes to do it. That's why I'm late. I'm sorry.
So this and other great idioms with examples by real Americans in LOLA SPEAK app. Back to money words idioms. So sometimes when we have a problem and we don't know how to solve it, we can throw money at a problem. To throw money at a problem means to spend money trying to solve a problem, but I like the visual that we throw the money. It's almost like we're trying to solve it by spending more money, but without addressing the cause, okay, the root cause of the problem. Sometimes throwing money at a problem helps. Let's say you just bought a better gear. You know, you had a problem with the sound and people were complaining, and you bought the best equipment and you kind of like threw money at the problem and it's solved. But in other cases, let's say you have a problem and you're like, oh yeah, let's just hire 10 more people. But the problem is not the lack of people, but the lack of the processes, the lack of communication, or whatever the reason is. So be very mindful before throwing money at a problem. And the last, but not the least idiom is to cash in. To cash in means to convert your assets into cash. Basically, to profit from an opportunity, like to get cash. You can imagine this visual when you're like cashing in, like you're getting cash, you know, you're counting, you're getting this money. It could be figuratively or literally. Let's say, oh, I remember when it was not the last time, but when I was a kid, at school, we had a special arts and crafts market, and me and my classmates, we figured out that everybody was thirsty. So we started selling some soda. I mean, we were selling some arts and crafts, like some artwork. But then we started selling soda and drinks. I mean, non-alcoholic, of course, we were kids, but to people because they were thirsty, and we were cashing in because everybody was so thirsty they wanted to buy drinks. They wanted cola, they wanted whatever the sodas we had, and we were cashing in. Some people are cashing in because they got lucky. Let's say they got into a flow of a high demand. During COVID-19 pandemic, a lot of people were cashing in selling masks or antiseptic or whatever this liquid, you know, they won't do anything. Maybe we'll do something. Some people were cashing in selling soap and toilet paper. You know, they had this opportunity and they were cashing in on that. Or let's say you're collecting coins or old school t-shirts, and one day you decide to sell your collection. So you'll be cashing in. You'll be getting cash for whatever you had. So today we've learned what it means to make a killing, to blow your money, to throw money down the drain, to tighten your belt, to make ends meet, to make a quick buck, to break the bank, to bite the bullet, to throw money at a problem, and to cash in. And if you want to practice pronouncing these idioms, go to LOLA SPEAK app, find a pack with this YouTube lesson, and practice. Get a feedback from our AI and improve your pronunciation. That's it for today. If you like this video, press the thumb up. If you want to watch other parts, maybe they are not released yet, but they will be. Find the link below the video. And I see you next Friday.